Whoops. That would be completely the wrong field. That's field 39. I don't think I'm going to complete this challenge, but as we all know, in the first 5 minutes I was driving around trying to find some potatoes. Hi guys, welcome to Sim UK and welcome back to Pure Farming 2018. Now there's some important things I need to explain to you guys right now because I'm still getting pretty aggressive comments from people, and I think it's because you don't really understand the position from where I'm coming from. Today we're going to do another challenge. We're going to do the potato campaign, but once I've started it, I'll explain to you exactly what the situation is here. Because this isn't a bad game, and you seem to think I think that it is a bad game. That is not my issue with this game. I'll explain what the issue is as soon as we get this challenge underway. So, Sunny Harvest, Montana, 26-hour time limit. It's harvest time in our American state. No, that's not the right thing. Potato campaign. Let's do it properly. Potatoes are one of the most important sources of income for an American farmer. Many fast food networks order astronomical quantities of potatoes which have to be delivered at the right production times. Your task is to prepare the field for cultivation of potatoes. Time is of key importance here. If we fail to meet the deadlines, we will lose important contracts with our clients. Plant 60% of each of the 4 fields. Optional task is to do 95%, same as the first one. Challenge description includes a Zeta Crystal 160 tractor and an Akpil power plant 4 planter. Perfect. Okay guys, so here we are. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that we're going to be using the same 4 fields, but let's just double check. We'll go to the drone. So once we've got ourselves moving on this campaign, then I'll yep, that's one. Once we've got ourselves moving this campaign, I'll explain what I've been trying to say. Yeah. Same fields. Okay, cool. That's not a problem. In fact, that's very good because it helps keep things clear in my mind. I use the same technique like I did in the last mission. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be it. Right, okay, so whilst we're... go. Now, do I need to fill this up at all? And if so, where? I don't know. Perhaps it's already ready to go or something. I imagine I'm going to have to refill it at some point, but I actually don't know where to do that, so that could completely ruin my mission, being totally honest with you. Right, okay, so this is a good game. This is perfect for casual players and or... I might try my circular technique as well, actually. Let's go right button. The storage is empty. Ah, damn, it is empty. Alright, where do I fill it up? Let's just deal with this major issue first. Wrong thing. If I go here... No. If I go here... Ooh, that's water tanks. I don't want water. Generators. Storage. So let's head over there and just see if that's where I pick up the potato seeds from. This is because I haven't played the main game, you see. I've only played these missions. I don't know everything about the game yet. And that was your complaint, guys, with my first review. Yeah, let's discuss that whilst I'm trying to figure out where the hell to get potato seed from. I might have to restart this mission. This is a good game. This is a very good game. If I have compared this to Farm Sim 17 Vanilla, i.e. the state it was in when it was released, I'd say that this was possibly the better game. There are some things I don't like about it, like these buildings over here. You can't pick where you place things. That's already predefined. I really hate that. And the issue for me is, right, my channel's called Sim UK and our ethos is ultimate realism. And that is because, is that a water tank? Our ethos is ultimate realism. That is what we're looking for. We are not interested in games, arcade games per se. And this is an arcade game. This is not a simulator. Now, I would say almost the same thing about Farm Sim 17, to be honest with you. When it was released, I felt like that was an arcade game. That's why I never played it. I was really disappointed. Really badly disappointed. A bit like I am now with finding the potato storage. Where the hell is it? I'm going to have trouble here. So, yeah. The reason for my review is because I'm basing that on a... That's clearly not it. I'm basing it on the fact that I'm reviewing this as a simulation game. And it's not a simulation game. That's why I say it's terrible. I hope you understand the difference there. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think it's a good game. It's just not a good simulator. But then neither was Farm Sim 17. And to be honest with you, it's only the modding community, and I have such an unbelievably high amount of respect for them, because they have basically turned Farm Sim 17 into a simulator. Nobody else. That's a power plant of some sort. Giants, I don't think, did anything to make Farm Sim 17 more like a simulator. Not a damn thing. They added a train in it, for God's sakes. If anything, that's making it less of a simulator. And if you watch my review on Farm Sim 17, you see that I'm not particularly impressed with it. And if you look at the amount of time that I've played on Farm Sim 17, you'll see that I didn't play it at all since it came out. So I think we've got real problems here, haven't we? There's something over there. I'm going to go over there and see what that is. But yeah, my point is that this is a game. It's an arcade game. Now, if I was reviewing arcade games on my channel, I'd say, yeah, great, good game, looks okay, handles reasonably well. You know, it's all right. It's a good game. It's a good chill out game. If you want non-realistic, non-hardcore farming fun, then this is a brilliant game for you to get. I highly recommend it. But as a simulation enthusiast, where the hell was that barn I just saw? That's so weird, I completely can't see it. Is that it there? Damn it. But as a simulation enthusiast, I'm reviewing this game as if it was a simulator, which is, I think, personally, how it's been sold via its trailers and its advertising and so on and so forth. It makes out that it's a very realistic game, and I had plans to do a Let's Play series on this the second it came out. What have we got here? That's an egg warehouse. A flipping egg warehouse. What the hell? So that's my review, guys. It's based on the fact that this is not a simulator. Oh my god, what's this? Is that something there? Round the side? I think it might be. I think I might have found it at last. So yeah, it's this, my review, and in fact all my reviews are based on how realistic is this game. So just understand that. Now, if you want to come back to me and then try and make there's the seed. Look at that, flipping Nora. If you want to come back to me and try and tell me that this is a simulator, that it is realistic, then we'll have then we'll have to have an argument, because that is totally not true. Now, am I going to have time to do this, having just spent 5 minutes wandering around and wasting time? I'm going to go straight to this field first, just because it's closer. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope you understand now why I dislike the game. I dislike the game because it's not a simulator. As a game, it's fine. As a game, it's just fine. No issue with the game at all. It's a good game. It's just not a good simulator. And I'm looking for a simulator to play, not a game to play. So that's my issue with this. Nothing else. Everything else is just fine. I mean, other than the issues that I've mentioned, like the camera doesn't zoom out far enough for my liking. I think that's maximum zoom out, and I can't really see the potatoes behind me being laid or not being laid. So yeah, I mean, I do have some problems with it. Even as a game, I don't think it's perfect. But, you know, they're releasing a lot of patches and a lot of updates and a lot of new content, and there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because it's not good enough. I mean, it just isn't good enough yet. That's the problem. And they know that. And I've heard good things about Techland. I've heard that they are responsive to the community. I've heard that they listen to the community. And I've heard that they update their games and try and make them as good as possible. So this game has huge potential. It has all the chance in the world. And let's be honest, and I have said this, I even said this in my first review, if the modding community decide to weigh in and do a bit for the game, this could be better than FS17. Now, the big question is on everybody's lips, and since this game came out, it's probably the second most popular question on the internet, I would have thought. But yeah, is FS19 going to be good enough? Because if they don't focus on realism this time round, I think that'll be the last FS game to be in the #1 spot. Cattle and Crops is fantastic in terms of realism, absolutely superb. The only problem with that game is it's not fully developed yet, and the controls are atrocious. Plus, it doesn't have head tracking yet. But head tracking is coming. The control system is being updated, and once that happens, that game will just click, and it will be just wonderful to play because it looks great. Mostly, I think the headlights are a bit busted, but it looks great. It feels so realistic. It's such a good game that I, for one, just cannot wait until those controls are in place, because I'll be jumping on that and playing it probably daily, I'd have thought, if that happens, or when that happens, I should say. So yeah, that's where I am. So I know, I mean, you guys, I was surprised actually how many people argued with me, and I mean, I've been called some names, I've had threats. One guy even threatened to call the police. In fact, I think he said he had called the police on me for telling lies. But yeah, it's been interesting, and at the end of the day, my review is absolutely spot on. I reviewed the game as though it was a simulator, and it's not, so it got a bad review. You need to understand that. Maybe you don't understand what my channel is. Maybe that's what the problem is. But do you know what? I don't feel like I should have to spoon feed you information. If you come to my channel and you've not seen any of my videos before and you don't agree with my video, then I suggest you go and look at some of my other videos, maybe read my about page, learn a little bit about me and the channel before you start weighing in with your pointless arguments that, well, they're incorrect. They're correct in the sense that you wanted to play an arcade game and this is an arcade game and therefore you like it. Well, good, but that's not what I'm reviewing. I'm reviewing this game as a simulation game, and as a simulation game it fails massively. It has potential because it has modding, and if the modding is open and unlocked and the modding community decide to get involved with this game, then my word, it could be good. Just look at FS17. FS17 was a terrible simulator. It was an awful game, as was FS15, and it's only the amazing efforts from the modding community that has turned that into a simulator. And now, with the exception of Cattle and Crops, it is the most realistic farming sim available on the PC. And that's the reality of it. But it wasn't Giants who did that. Giants are not responsible for that accolade. That's the modding community alone. And the exact same thing could happen here. It really could. Getting dizzy now. I'm getting really dizzy. Oh, we'll just go around. I cannot reverse with a trailer in this game using a controller. I can't do it. I really can't do it. Have I done something totally wrong here? Because it feels to me like we should have got some sort of alert to say that I've achieved the minimum requirements. Oh, there we go. As if by magic. Right, that's that done. Field number 2, or aka number 1. Whoops. That would be completely the wrong field. That's field 39. I don't think I'm going to complete this challenge, but as we all know, in the first 5 minutes I was driving around trying to find some potatoes. What's annoying me slightly, or a lot, is that I actually went to the potato store where the potatoes are kept and completely didn't see them. That's quite frustrating. Okay, so how are we doing? Oh, not good. Going to be extremely tight, this one. I certainly think that this circular method is quicker than doing it aka properly. We have a bit of in-cab driving. Oh yeah, that's much better. Not sure how well I'm going to do at keeping in an accurate line, but we'll do our best. We'll try our best. That's all we can do. So yeah. Anyway, guys, a lot of patches are coming out. In fact, today was the first massive patch. Or update. Well, no, it's a patch, isn't it? It's a patch to fix loads of bugs. I have to say, a lot of people are complaining about bugs, the game crashing, being unable to put people on fields and so on and so forth. I haven't experienced any of that, to be honest. I've had a few little bugs around the controller. Pressing a button just seems to lag and it doesn't happen straight away. I've had issues like that, but I haven't had any game crashes, touch wood, or anything significantly bad like that. It seems fairly stable again. Well, it feels pretty stable, completely stable again, to me. But yeah, there's a massive patch coming out today to fix the majority of those issues. So, I mean, that's good. And, you know, Techland, as I've said already, a lot of you, well, some of you have told me that Techland are a brilliant company and they really listen to the community and they work hard to get things right when they're wrong. So, I mean, that sounds all really positive, and hopefully they will continue to do what they're doing and improving this game no end. And like I say, and everybody said to me as well, when modding comes out, if the modding community gets behind this game, it depends on how open the modding is, I guess, and how useful and how effective it is as a modding tool. That will dictate how much better the game gets, I imagine. I would expect. So, yeah, I mean, it has huge potential. It really does have huge potential. But I just think at the moment it's a bit lackluster. I love these missions. I think they're great. I would, if I was to compare it to something, I would say It's the difference between FSX and X-Plane. X-Plane is brilliant, i.e. the most realistic of the two, but they're having scenarios like this, having challenges like this, I think is a great thing. I think it's a really positive thing, and I really like it. I don't know that I'd like to see it in Farm Sim 17, but to be honest with you, I don't see why I wouldn't, because it's good fun. It's a challenge. Everybody likes a challenge. So yeah, it's definitely a thumbs up on that regard. Very positive. But if they open it up to Steam Workshop and allow people to create their own challenges, aka scenarios, then I think that could be this game's unique selling feature, and a lot of people will want to play it just for that feature alone, regardless of how realistic or unrealistic it is. I mean, okay, from a realism point of view, I'm driving on this field and it's kind of, you can see that there's ridges and where we've done some work, but if I drive over them, it will make no difference to the handling whatsoever. I don't think the inside of the cab will be shaking around or anything like that. I don't think it's particularly realistic in that sense. I kind of feel like I'm going over the same lines a bit here. Let's just see how big this thing is. Is it wider than my tractor? It's about the same width, isn't it? I'll just carry on. Let's carry on regardless. How far have we got here? 54%. That doesn't seem like very much. Seems like this has taken me way longer than the other one. So that's 2 minutes. That means it's 4 minutes per field. Oh crikey, it's going to be so close. 4 minutes per field, and I've got 10 minutes left. I don't think that's going to happen, is it, guys? I think I wasted too much time at the beginning driving around trying to find the potatoes and chatting stuff. So yeah, I am heavily contemplating giving an X-rated response to some of the comments that I've received. I've had bad comments in the past, and I always address people head on. There's no way on earth you can come into my house, disrespect me, and think that you're going to walk away without an issue. No way that's happening. But I do report everybody who does stuff like that, because I think it's totally unacceptable. I would never do it, and I don't see why anybody on the planet should think that it's okay to do so. The reality is that when you do that, those messages disappear from your channel. So I can't show you what these people have written, but I can tell you from memory the things that they have written. So a few people have been banned from the channel. I think maybe 10 people in total. Some of them, most of them, for being incredibly abusive and aggressive and threatening and just unacceptable, really. But also some people have just been, I've just banned a few people for just being so completely disrespectful and ignorant and just annoying me. So yeah, there's a few things that have happened that I've had to deal with in the last couple of days that you shouldn't really have to deal with. I know it's, some people will argue it's part of being a YouTuber. Okay, well, fine. But then, you know, that's how you deal with it on YouTube, is you get rid of these people and they can't come back and they can't comment ever again. So, you know, it's up to them, I suppose. At the end of the day, I don't really care what you think. You know, you can call me all the names under the sun, and it's not going to change my review or my opinion of the game, because it's not a simulator, is it? Look at it. Does this look like a simulator to you? The tractor's absolutely solid. There's no bouncing or wibbling or wobbling or anything, aka not a simulator, and that's my review. So not going to change, not until the modding community get in here and completely turn this game up on its head. I cannot see where I've been at all now. It's getting very difficult to see the difference between the area that I have done and the area that I haven't done. We're in almost a complete circle now. Almost. incidentally, guys, Dagwin made a comment or left a comment on my Steam curator page, my Steam review. Sorry, not my curator page, on my Steam review for this game. It wasn't addressed to me. It was addressed to a friend of mine who watches the channel, and we chat and discuss games and so on and so forth. Is that done? Nice. Right, let's go find the next field. How are we doing for potatoes? I think we're okay. Basically I commented, am I going the wrong way? Yes, I was. I commented on the fact that I was disappointed with the YouTubers who had reviewed this game before, and Daggerwin's stance is that he didn't make a review, and I suppose technically, yeah, that's correct, but I kind of feel like if you're going to do a preview of a game, then you're honor bound to discuss that game's shortcomings as well as its positives, so that, because bearing in mind, when you're playing a game that nobody else can get access to for a week or a month or however long before release date. I found the headlights, by the way, guys. It does have headlights. Yeah, when you're doing that, you're basically getting these people's, you're whetting their appetite. They're looking at this game, they're watching you play. You're their favourite YouTuber. They trust everything you say. They believe what you say, and they enjoy watching your channel. So when you're playing a game that they've never played, yeah, by all means discuss how brilliant the game is, but do not, for God's sakes, do not forget to point out all its shortcomings. Because even if, at the end of the day, pointing out a game's shortcomings should not put people off buying the game. If it does, it's because the game is seriously flawed. Now, I'm not saying this game is seriously flawed, but at no point, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched all of Daggerwin's videos. I don't have enough time to do that. But at no point in any of the videos where I've seen him playing Pure Farming has he said, this is not a simulator. This is very much an arcade game. If you're looking for ultimate realism, for example, then this is not the game for you, because it lacks simulation elements in this area, this area, this area. Had he have said that, I would not have gone into this game. I probably wouldn't have bought this game, but I certainly wouldn't have gone into this game thinking, oh my god, this is going to be like FS17. This is going to be like what FS17 should have been, and it's not. It really isn't. I'd say it's better than FS17 in a lot of ways, but also, well, no, actually I'd say it was better than FS17 vanilla in total, but that it lacks a number of simulation elements that FS17 did have. So yeah, in terms of which one is better, this one is better, but in terms of which one is more simulation, FS17 was more simulation in my mind. But even FS17 wasn't a very good simulator in my humble opinion, and as I've said maybe 20 times in this video already, it only comes down to the modding community who have made that game into a simulator. Prior to that, it was nothing. And I can't believe what the modding community have done. These guys are amazing. And when FS15, when I was playing FS15 and FS17 was about to come out, I chatted endlessly about what we would like to see in FS17 and how the modding community had done such an amazing job converting the game to be more simulation-like, that all Giants really had to do was contact these guys, chuck them a couple of grand each, and get them to develop the game so that it was, you know, okay, great, there's the course play mod. Well, let's add that into the game properly. Let's pay this guy X amount of money, and then he can come in and he can develop that, and, you know, he'll get some cash out of it. Why didn't they do that? Why were they so ignorant and just think, well, we'll just release exactly the same game that FS15 is, but we'll put a train in it, and then the modding community can turn it into a simulator again. I think that's so rude, and the modding community do all this for free. You know, it must take them hours and hours and hours to get this stuff working, and because there's no, you know, there is no ipso facto manual for doing it, They probably fail as many times as they succeed, and it must be so frustrating for them as well. But let's be honest, I mean, without them we wouldn't have a simulation farming game, would we? We'd have FS15 and this, and Real Farm. And now Real Farm, incidentally, because I know I gave that a positive review, and let me just clarify why I did that, because that is an arcade game. And there's probably some truth in the fact that because every single review prior to mine said how unrealistic it was, how boring it was, how samey it was, how there was nothing new. Is that 95%? I didn't hear a ping. Right, it's 96% now, so let's go to the last field. If I can find it. So yeah, I gave that game a positive review because it's not trying to be... No, stop working. It's not trying to be a simulator. It really is being an arcade game. And it's not promoting itself as a simulator. So I went into that game expecting it to be totally crap. And actually, it was pretty good. Whereas this one, I'd say that Real Farm was an arcade game with lots of simulation elements in, whereas I would describe this one as being a simulation game with lots of arcade elements in. Do you understand the difference between the two? I mean, that's crystal clear in my head, but for some reason when I say things, a lot of people misconstrued or misunderstand what I'm saying. But Real Farm is an arcade game, and it's not trying to be anything other than an arcade game. And as an arcade game, it's very good. And I think, personally, out of all the farming sim games that are available, Real Farm looks the best. It's got a lovely colour palette to it. I love the design, the style, the elements. It feels very lived in. It's wonderful to look at. And if that game ever became a simulator, I think that would be a genuine, real competitor for any future farming game, just based purely on the fact that it's at 4K 60 FPS and looks absolutely flipping stunning. It really does. I wasn't expecting it when I went and played that game. It blew me away. And I am actually going to put a proper review out on that game. I'm just a little bit taken up with this at the moment. But yeah, a proper Real Farm review will be coming. But you know, it's not a game I'll play consistently because it is an arcade game, whereas this is trying to be a simulator, but it's just too arcadey. That's my opinion. That's my issue. That's my issue. Has been from day one. My God, it feels like I've been talking about that the whole time. I have, haven't I? I just wanted to make it clear. That's all. I'm trying to explain to people why I gave this game a negative review. And it's not because it's a bad game. It's because it's an arcade game, but it promoted itself as being a simulator, and that's my issue. Maybe one day it will be a simulator, and then I'll come back and review it as a simulator game. And to be honest with you, if the modding community can do in this game what they've done in Farming Sim 17, then this could be the best farming sim game available. It's highly possible. It really is. One of the key issues for this game, so I've heard, is that unfortunately, because I pre-bought this game, I had the Germany map and all the extra DLCs for free, but because I refunded that game and then got it again, congratulations, you have met the minimum completion requirements. You can continue playing and try and meet the maximum requirements for another achievement. I think I'm going to do this. I am. Yeah, because I refunded that game and then got it again and put it in after release date, I now don't have the Germany map and so on and so forth. But based on what other people are saying, other than the Montana maps, the other maps are absolutely tiny, and it's pretty disrespectful. And I'm seeing as well with this game a really worrying look of DLCs coming, and I think that's what their plan is here. I think they're going to release lots of DLCs, and it's just going to be a money spinner, and that's what they're looking for. I can see that that's their plan, because that's what they're doing already. Now, I did say, well, actually you haven't seen it yet, but in my full review I did mention that the ability to change the clothes and stuff that your character wears is good, and I can see DLCs coming out for that. And already there is one. I think it's like 79p, which isn't a lot, but when you think it's 79p for 5 shirts, and they could bring out, I mean, how easy is it for a development team to bring out a bunch of new shirts? I mean, seriously, I could probably do it in 10 minutes. And for something more complex, I could do it in half an hour. So you're looking at maybe a couple of hours work, and that's it. 94%. Ta-da! Challenge 1 with 4.5 minutes to spare. So yeah, I hope that's clarified my situation, my position on this game. And it would be nice if you're watching this and you've left a negative comment on my previous review, if you go and change that, or leave me a comment saying, oh, okay, I get it now. From a simulation perspective, this game doesn't do well. It doesn't score well. As a game, as an arcade game for casual players, it's a good game. It's a great game. Whatever. It's got huge potential. It could become a simulator, indeed. But right now, on release day, which is why I left that review, it's not. So it's not worth buying. That's my point. Anyway, I'll continue playing this because I want to make an in-depth review on this. And I thank you once again for watching the video. Please take care of yourselves. Till next time, goodbye.